Hi, welcome to my channel. Wait, crooked. Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Michelle. Today I'm going to create an eyeshadow look with you. So I'm going to get started with my eye primer, which is of course my trusty matte paint pot. And I am working on finishing mine up. I have mine in the shade Painterly. I know some people have this like in multiple shades, and at one time I did have a slightly darker one, but I didn't really find myself enjoying using it. Whoops. I just found it to be a little bit too much work to try to blend in with the other shades. And so for the time being, it's the only paint pot that I have in my stash, and it looks like I just shed an eyelash into my primer. Okay, it's gone now. I think it might be fun, like if I were to create two looks, but I am about to go get something to eat, and I don't want people looking at me like I'm insane. So, I'm also going to be going to my mother's house. Like if I was only going to my mom's house, and I wouldn't mind doing two looks because, like, you know, what's the big deal really? But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to stop and get some food. So, because I haven't eaten in a while, and I'm not going to take the time to cook, although I should. Okay, so today I'm going to create an eyeshadow look with a Pat McGrath palette. But first, let me reapply some lips because I ate earlier after I created this look. This is the... This is the lip combo that I had on earlier. It's Cork from MAC and Huda Beauty Buttercup. So I will show you a live swatch of both of these now. MAC, Cork. And then Huda Beauty Buttercup. This rivals my Kim K as far as the tone in concealer lip land, like the brightness of it or whatever. That's a compliment. Okay. So now that I've got my eyes primed and my lips looking a little less tragic, I'm going to go ahead and pick which Pat McGrath palette I want to play with. Yes. This is the, right here. This is the Pat McGrath palette that I'm going to be playing with today. Okay. Well, there's not really that many options. As per usual, there's not that many options for mattes. There's this deep green one and this kind of like soft mauve shade. And I think it would probably be best to start off with this one. So I'm going to do that in a fluffy brush. I don't have all of my Fude eye brushes clean, so I'm going to just use the ones. So I'm going to just use what I have that's here in my stash. So I might not have like the most ideal shape that I would usually reach for or whatever, but like for certain areas, but I'm going to just make do. And I'm sure it'll be just fine. Okay, I barely tapped it and it is so pigmented. It's been a while since I played with a Pat McGrath palette, and I'm excited to create a look with this one. Couple of more taps in here, but you got to be careful and deliberate because she pigmented. These shadows don't play. My dog is over there attacking a blanket, so if you hear a strange sound, he's literally right outside this little corner, and I can hear it, so you might be able to hear it. I usually try to keep him in his zone to do that because I know that the sound can be a little bit annoying, but I don't know. He wants to be around me, so who can blame him? He's still like coping with the fact that I was gone for about a week to California, and you know, they're all like still trying to soak up the mama time. Okay, so that's a really, really pretty color, and I feel like I've blended it out as much as I can so that it's not as pigmented, and I'm ready to go in with another shade. I actually kind of feel like maybe I should have used that shade towards the front too, but this brush is a little bit too big for me personally, so I'm going to find something a little smaller, like this mini 14 brush here. I think that will be a better fit for me personally, just because my eyes are almond shape. And so then I'm going to just carry the shade over into this front region. But see, if I would have used that same brush, I would have that dark shade all the way up to basically my brow. And I just have less control because my eyes are almond shape. I know I've said this repeatedly, but just for anybody that's new or whatever, because my eyes are almond shaped, I have a little bit less space to get into the front part of my crease here because my eyes kind of like pinch together or whatever. I don't know if that made sense, but it made sense in my mind. Okay. Do feel like I need to kind of blend out this edge a little bit more. It's just a little bit too pointy. Okay. With that same Rephr 14, I'm going to go ahead and just, while I'm in this shade, go ahead and carry it over to the other areas that I want to carry that look with. Okay. Because this matte shade here is so cool toned and not warm toned, it keeps my eyes from looking like a dead bunny rabbit. Like it's not a red leaning undertone, so I feel like it's playing nicely with the whites of my eyes as opposed to offsetting it in a negative way. Okay, but now, now I really don't know what direction to go because the only other matte that I have is this super deep dark green. And honestly, I feel like, what other choice do I have other than to try that one? So I'm going to go ahead and take let's see what shapes I have that I could work with right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this really lovely Surratt squirrel-haired brush. It's a little bit of a shader, but it's fluffy and soft. And so I'm going to go into this deep green here. It's a really, really bold matte. And I'm going to just start to smoke out the edge of this shade and see what kind of a smoky effect I can get going up into that orchid. I might end up putting like either a little bit more of that first matte over this shade to try to take away some of the green effect and just see how those mix, or I might end up putting a shimmer over this portion of the lid. So I'll just have to play it by ear and see what I end up feeling like. I do feel like this green matte here is kind of like dry. It's not creamy and like thick and fluffy the way I do remember Pat McGrath mattes being. So this particular Mothership here, I'm gonna say is not exactly like a top fave as far as the formula goes, because I do notice that there's just a slight bit of difference in the way that I notice the mattes specifically perform. I know most people talk about like the baked shades or lack thereof, but for me, I mean, like I used my Pat McGrath palettes for years without ever even touching any of the shimmers except for like the satins, you know? So, like I really know her mattes very well, and that's really what I love from the brand. I do enjoy her shimmers and her special shades too. It's just, I don't use them as frequently as I do the mattes. And so for me, the mattes are really an important part of the palette. It's just how I look at it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take this really large fluffy brush from Sonia G. It's kind of flat, but it's wide. I'm gonna go back into that first matte and I'm gonna pack this onto the dark shade, and let's just see what happens. Let's see if I can get like some layering to where I can still keep it more of a purple look, but I can have that dark smoky effect still. I'm thinking the answer is yes. Because although it's not completely blending the best like her mattes typically do, it is covering up pretty decently. So yeah, it's just taking a little bit more effort than I remember her shadows taking. But I do like how this brush is blending the shadow like up into my crease and packing it on. It's so soft yet dense. Like, I don't know quite how to describe it, but I do really like the color combination that I got out of mixing these two mattes. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and pick, hold on. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pick a shimmer. And honestly, I feel like I should just go this direction here, but that's not gonna match my shirt. I thought I was gonna be wearing like green. So let me go ahead and stick with this really pretty green here. And let's just take that on this little bitty, I think it's a Chikuhodo Fox brush, I believe. So I'm just gonna pick it up with that. I've never used this brush with a shimmer before, but I just wanna see what happens. I don't recommend. I mean, it is a real nice, soft application, and that shade goes well over the matte, but it's not really like it's bringing back out the green effect from the underneath matte, but that's not really the effect that I was hoping to have. So I feel like that did kind of ruin the look, and I think this brush would have been better with a matte in the crease. Okay. I'm going to take this fluffy brush from Sonia G. It's like a worker packer shimmer brush, kind of. It's like a shimmer brush slash blender. I think I'm going to go ahead and go in with the first shade that was my original instinct. Ladies, always follow your instincts because they're there to guide you. I've noticed that every time, oh yeah, see, oh my God. I've noticed that every time I don't follow my instincts, I regret it. That's yummy. No glitter glue, no spraying of the brush, just slowly swiping and packing that shade on my lid. I did just feel a little bit of a chunk fall off into my face, so I will try to wipe that off, but that is so pretty and I love it so much. I really don't want to mess with my eyes too much more, so I'm gonna just do a real small little accent of this shimmer here. She always adds a champagne shimmer, by she being Pat McGrath. This isn't her palette. Like, she's by then sold off her creative to someone else or whatever. Anyways, I digress. Pat McGrath brand palettes usually will have an inner corner little like champagne shimmer, and I appreciate that fact because I need me an inner corner highlight for every single look that I've ever done. I always need one. And, you know, I prefer my palette to have at least one dark deepening up matte and one like inner corner slash brow bone highlight. That's just what I need in order to really appreciate a palette. Now, sometimes there are a few exceptions like a pastel palette or whatever, but even with that, I need there to be a slightly dark pastelish shade that I can use for that, and then a super light one for the highlight. Anyways, okay, so I really love the way this turned out. I'm gonna go off camera, add some finishing touches, and I'll be right back to show you the completed look. Okay, here is the finished eye look. Let me zoom you in so that you can get a good shot of the eyes. Maybe it's too much reflection, so let me just zoom you into the eye look. I added some fun glitter accents and other pops of details. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I finished out this look, I will leave that members exclusive behind the scenes video down below of this description box, as well as a link where you can join my channel membership if you would like access to exclusive members only content, such as how I finished off this look and other types of videos too. That was a long-winded breath. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. I had so much fun playing with this palette and exploring some of the outcomes that I can get by mixing some of the shades that I hadn't tried playing with together in the past. So I really enjoyed getting an opportunity to play with some more of these shades in new and different exciting ways. I love the way that the look turned out, even though I was expecting it to go more of a green direction. I do like the way that it turned out, and I'm gonna go ahead and yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I hope that you like it too. If you did, leave that comment down below and let me know. I would appreciate that so much. But you can leave any other feedback that you'd like down below too. I love reading the comments from you. And if you enjoyed today's video, I'd appreciate it if you take a moment to click the like button. It really helps my small channel out so much. And it lets the YouTube algorithm know that you would like to see my content in your feed. Another way to make sure that you can get my content in your feed is to hit the subscribe button, which is down below this video. You can hit subscribe. It's absolutely free to subscribe to me. And I hope you do so that I can see you in my next video. Bye.